welcome to NestGen 2025. I'm Pri, your host for the day, and today we're diving into a very critical topic, ensuring enterprise-grade data security in autonomous drone operations. As drones become an integral part of security infrastructure monitoring, logistics, and emergency response, the amount of sensitive data being captured, processed, and transmitted has skyrocketed. With this surge in data, organizations face growing challenges related to cybersecurity risk, regulatory compliances, and operational integrity. But, before we start, I would like to go over some housekeeping rules. Have any questions for us? Drop them in the Q&A box anytime and we'll tackle them towards the end of the session. This session is being recorded so you can revisit these insights later. Engage with us, share your thoughts in the chat. How does your organization currently handle drone security? We'd love to know them all. And last but not the least, join the conversation online. Use the hashtag NestGen on LinkedIn and Twitter to share and tag our speakers. Also, a huge thank you to our NestGen 2025 sponsors who helped make this event possible. Now, let me ask you, how do you ensure that drone fleets are protected from cyber threats, data breaches, and unauthorized access without compromising on operational efficiency? In this session, we'll introduce FlytBase's advanced security framework designed to provide end-to-end encryption, secure communication, and enterprise-grade data protection for fully autonomous drone operations. And to walk us through this session, we have Dheeraj Dhule, the Director of Product at FlytBase, who will share insights into how FlytBase Shield safeguards enterprise drone operations against evolving security threats. Welcome, Dheeraj. It's good to have you here.
Hey, thanks, Prishita. Hello, everyone. Welcome to NestGen 2025. Excited to be here. And let me take over, Prishita, with my presentation, if it's all right.
Yes, definitely, Dheeraj. Let's start.
Thank you. Prishita, can you confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, Dheeraj.
Yeah, so the topic of discussion today is ensuring enterprise-grade data security with FlytBase Shield. So let me first walk you through like a brief background about FlytBase and what we do. The idea is that FlytBase is all about autonomous drone operations, and to enable this drone autonomy, we bring together a lot of components. For example, these are the common key components that you would need for autonomous drone operations. You would need data processing and analytics software. This could be a software like Drone Deploy or Pix4D, something that does the post-flight data processing in terms of photogrammetry or in terms of rust detection, etc. That's post-flight. It could also be detect and avoid sensors that are required during flight to make sure that the plane or the drone keeps off from the manned aviation or the crewed aviation. You would also need parachutes to make sure that the drone is safe. If in case of an emergency, the drone would land safely and not drop like a stone from the sky. You would need ADSB, you would need UTM systems, you would need team management, drones, alarms, payloads. The list keeps going on. Now, to build this autonomous drone, like a solution for autonomous drone operations, one would need multiple such components and bring them together. And a lot of times there are also variations of these components. For example, what the kind of sensors that you need for fail-safe in one geography are different from the other geography. There are specific certifications that you need with your parachutes in US versus in Europe. And then, of course, those models would be different. So it's not just that these components are a lot. There are variations within these components that would be needed based on the geography as well. So solution integrators who would want to put these components together and build a solution, that is where FlytBase comes in. That is where we help you. With FlytBase acts as a glue where you can put all of these components together. Some of these components are built by FlytBase, some are built by our ecosystem partners, many of whom are at this event today, either participating or showcasing their products. And that is how we are enabling the autonomous drone operation, autonomous drone solution ecosystem. So this is how, for enterprises, we bring all those components together and enable the autonomous drone solution. So FlytBase is an enterprise drone autonomy platform. So where we put in all of these components together and the solution partners, they are able to use these components, like pick and place whatever they need, put it together, and they are able to create solutions for individual verticals such as construction, security, drone as a first responder, mining, railways, solar, oil and gas, etc. So this is in a nutshell. I'll just give a brief overview of how this diagram looks like. So at the bottom, you will see hardware, which is there are a lot of drone manufacturers like DJI and Skydio. There are many more drone manufacturers and even some people who build their own drones. So drones, docks, payloads, these are from third-party manufacturers. FlytBase is agnostic to the hardware. So any solution that you create on top of FlytBase is agnostic to the underlying hardware. And the FlytBase platform takes care of major four things: flight automation, fleet management, flight safety, and data security. Flight automation being ensuring that the remote flight or the fully autonomous flight is safe and making sure that there is no need of anybody who is holding a remote in their hand. That is, of course, the crux of the basics of drone autonomy. Then there is fleet management, where you are managing multiple drones operating together. And flight safety is, of course, making sure that those flights are safe and operators don't need to worry about flight safety and they can focus on their operations. And then finally, data security. Today's highlight of this conversation is going to be more about data security aspect. On top of this FlytBase platform layer, we provide a lot of enterprise integrations. So for example, alarm, data processing, live streaming, all of these capabilities exposed by FlytBase platform can also integrate third-party systems with the FlytBase platform. So we have a lot of links. So Flinks is a term, FlytBase links with third-party softwares like Drone Deploy, Pix4D, Above, Strayos, Milestone, Genetec, Uvioni. So these are some of these where the components that we just saw earlier. They could be either third-party data processing platforms. They could be sensors required for BVLOS operations. Could be safety systems, etc. And then on top of that, the operators can use any, or rather than operators, I would use the word solution partners. What they can do is they can use any drone, dock, payload that they want, use effective and whatever modules that they need in FlytBase platform, pick and choose what kind of third-party systems that they want. And a lot of these are our ecosystem partners, and then create a solution for a unique offering for a particular industry. And that is all what FlytBase does. Now, moving on to the data security aspect. So this is like what FlytBase brings to the table: enterprise integrations, flight safety, data security. We'll double down into data security today. So let's understand what are the concerns around data security and compliance today for everybody who is adopting docking stations for their enterprise use cases, not only the end users, but also the solution partners who are going and selling the dock solutions to enterprises, government customers, etc. What are the primary concerns the end users are raising? And where are the hurdles for that process? So one of the key concerns that we have seen is data theft. So that is one. There is a lot of course, there's a lot of geopolitics around data security these days. But apart from that, the docking stations are right now being deployed in a lot of critical infrastructure places. For example, power grids, sometimes military installations, like nuclear power plants or oil and gas refineries. And some of these actually are quite critical to the enterprise. And they want to make sure that whatever data they are capturing, that data is safe and it is not susceptible to any hacking attack, etc. And data theft is like a very big concern there. Apart from this, there is another important consideration these days, which is due to the geopolitical concerns, the ensuring business continuity aspect. So docking station, we have identified, like a lot of docking stations from manufacturers, they make two-way communication with other docking station, the manufacturers or some kind of third-party servers. And since it is a two-way communication, some third party might leverage that two-way communication and push some kind of updates or maybe make some changes that will render the dock useless, and you would not have that resource when you need it the most. And those kind of concerns are also primary concerns for a lot of government as well as some enterprise customers. So these are the concerns that are around, mostly around data security. I'll also talk about some of these concerns around compliance. So the data security and compliance concerns mostly around, the data security concerns are mostly around these two items, but from the compliance perspective, what customers are seeing is, okay, so there is like a lot of slowdown due to IT compliance. The problem is that like customers have brought 1 or 5 docs for proof of concept, but they are not able to go to production due to lack of IT compliance. There are multiple issues here why they are getting stuck in compliance. One of them is they're asking the IT admins when they operate these docs for POC, they're looking at the network logs and they're asking why this doc is communicating with n number of servers, and like what are your data security practices, like do you have software for your software, etc. So they have n number of questions. Some of those questions are stemming from the communication that the doc has with third party servers, and that is where that is raising their eyebrows, and then they are looking for more explanation. So without this IT clearance, the docs are not deployed yet on company network. And some of those questions are tough to answer without proper understanding. And without that IT clearance, then docs are not deployed yet on company network, which means that they are doing some kind of temporary network setup, etc., just to show to customer how it works, etc. But they are not able to scale and leverage it to fully actually solve the customer's problem. And then, of course, not able to scale. So being stuck at IT compliance stage, they're not able to deploy at full scale. So doc deployments are not moving beyond proof of concept in most of the cases. In some cases they are, but in most of the cases, that is where the whole thing is getting delayed. So how does FlytBase help overcome this bottleneck? So this is what I'm here to talk about today. So from FlytBase perspective, I'll talk about few things that we are doing. So one of the things is certifications and compliance. We understand that with FlytBase and with docking stations, drones with docking stations and fully autonomous solutions, we can solve really interesting and really important problems that industry wants to solve. But all of these problems are at the cornerstone or at the heart of that industry or the heart of that enterprise. And the data that we are capturing, that data is really critical to the company, to the enterprise, and they want to make sure they have absolute safety around that data. And then in that case, they want to evaluate what are the software practices that the software providers with the doc are following. And to make sure that we are compliant, FlytBase has done all the industry standard compliances. The SOC 2, SOC 2 Type 2, that is the cornerstone of security in software industry, and that is the most important one. And then we have ISO 27001 as well. We have been maintaining these for last couple of years, and we also are compliant with GDPR. So these are three major compliances, and if you have any specific requirement for a fourth compliance that would be required in your industry or to one of your particular customers, feel free to let us know, and we'll be happy to look into that. So these are from the certification and compliance point of view. What this solves is one piece of the puzzle, one piece of what the concerns the IT admins have, which is from the data, from the documentation perspective, that what processes you follow, etc. But also they have concerns in terms of what the doc is communicating, or what the drone and doc systems are communicating to which servers and why are they communicating, etc. So those are also real questions to solve these. So like compliance is not enough. So compliance is not is enough. No, compliance is not enough, because they have seen that, because all of enterprises, they're quite sensitive about drones and all of that. While it is very powerful, they also understand it is very risky if they lose their data, or if the data was to go to wrong hands. So compliance is not just enough. What we need is we are active deterrence. So what if there are tools for IT teams that could provide a way to sandbox the dock and drone hardware at network level? So they have seen all the communication, and what if we provide a way to sandbox the dock and drone hardware? What that means is if we could use the dock and drone hardware, which is really great. For example, DJI Dock these days has really mastered the art of completely autonomous operations, safe flights, etc. So if we could use such a great hardware, sandbox it, make sure that it only communicates with the external servers which are approved already and does not communicate with any other server. If you're able to get that assurance, that would be amazing, because it is not just the documentation aspect, but also in practice, the data would you would be able to make sure that data doesn't leave a particular enterprise network. And if it is leaving that network, it is only going to intended servers and not going to any other servers. And if they could monitor and display in real time how this system is working, not only that, like we have compliance, but we have a system which will actively sandbox the dock and drone hardware, and they would also be able to see how the system works and in real time see that it is working. If they were to get that, that would be pretty much convincing to the end users, to the IT admins, and also to any other governing bodies that are, for example, if you're going to the government customers. So this is what we have seen is very helpful. If you have concerns around, particularly around DJI docs, around the hardware, any data security concerns, this solution using the great hardware that DJI has provided, but at the same time sandboxing it with FlytBase's Shield, and then offering that compliant plus actually secure solution to the end user. I would say that would be the best solution that you could have, and to convince the customer, and also to unlock this compliance and data security logjam, and actually take the proof of concept to a level where the customer starts scaling them. So these tools will incredibly enhance data security and shorten time to get IT compliance. To solve this, what we have done is we are bringing this device called AIR. So AIR is a program, and there's a device, AIR Edge, that we just launched. And so this is called Aerial Intelligence for Robots. So AIR is a device that sits between the dock and your internet or the enterprise network. What that means is dock cannot communicate with your enterprise network or with internet without going through AIR. And AIR has an enterprise grade firewall inside it that makes sure that the dock cannot communicate to any servers apart from intended servers that are already pre-configured. So this network level sandboxing will make sure that you're able to use the great hardware, but without any data security concerns. So FlytBase AIR1, this is the first hardware that we have released. So this is basically a temperature hardened box, a rugged box that you can deploy in field, that goes next to the docking station. And the Ethernet cable from docking station would plug into AIR, and then the internet connection to your internet or enterprise network would plug into AIR1. So some of the benefits of AIR is, apart from data security, it does AI detection, and it also, of course, helps with data residency and faster data transfers wherever you need that. In lower internet connectivity scenarios, you can do seamless operations because of the having the edge module at the edge. And then if your viewers, if your command center is deployed on the same local enterprise network or same enterprise network, then you can also increase the video viewer minutes quota by 400%, because then you're not transmitting over internet but through your own local network. The AIR also acts as a media server for the docking station or FlytBase platform. So these are some of the benefits of AIR1. Let me quickly show you how FlytBase Shield looks like. So this is when you deploy AIR1 next to the dock, and how we actually sandbox the hardware. How do we make sure that it doesn't send your data anywhere else apart from intended servers? And then how can IT admins see that working in live? So this is AIR1 dashboard. For example, you'll see drones and docks in FlytBase. You'll also see AIRs listed. So one AIR1 unit goes with one dock. They are mated together. And then this is how you deploy it. You can look at the live maintenance dashboard of AIR1 CPU usage and like temperature and all other data points, so that you can do a remote maintenance, a remote health check. And then when you go to Shield, you'll see this dashboard where we show all current firewall blocked events. So these are actively blocked events that firewall has been blocking as we when the video was recorded. So this dashboard is live, and this dashboard helps you see wherever those blocked events are, which geography are they from, where the doc was trying to send your data, and where how they were blocked, and whatever data is being led through, that is also shown on the map. And you can go and filter and take a look at where all the doc is trying to communicate to, and whether it is being blocked or whether it is being allowed. And this gives IT admins the absolute visibility into where the doc is communicating, where the data is going, etc. So we believe this solution would be game changer to making sure that to address all the concerns that customers have around data security. So there are some, of course, additional AI use cases, AI detection. So I will just show a brief video of what AIR can do. And so this is how AIR can help with automatic detection of vehicle, people, counting them in live video. So this is when you enable AIR, it will start the object detection, and now it is able to detect all the vehicles. You can also see the live count here, whatever number of vehicle or people that you see in the screen. So we have a huge roadmap in terms of AI features that will get loaded on the AIR1 unit. AIR1 unit comes with a state-of-the-art NVIDIA A2000 GPU, and it's a commercial rugged commercial GPU. The entire system is temperature hardened. That gives a lot of firepower, compute power in terms of doing advanced AI down the line. So we would be sharing a lot of interesting updates later on. So while this live detection was going on, after the flight, all the AI detection logs are uploaded here so that you have all those videos so that you can take a look at those later on. So this is about AIR1. And then, of course, apart from, so we talked about to address the data security concerns. We talked about first the compliance, so SOC 2, ISO, GDPR, etc. Then we talked about how how we created this FlytBase Shield program and AIR and AIR1 hardware that actually gives you security and also lets your IT admin see how the security is being enforced in real-time basis. Apart from these, we take care of within our software stack, we make sure that from the data security side and from the operation and access control side, we provide OR 2.0 role-based access control to make sure that users are able to, within their organization, segregate the access and control and access to data, relevant data. From a network security point of view, all communication is firewalled so that from the network security perspective, also even from a taking that data from docking station to cloud, we make sure that it is always SSL encrypted, and we use AS256, which is standard in software industry for such data, and we take care of data backups, etc. So everything that that we need to take care from our side so that our platform is secure, we take care of those. We do frequent third-party VAPT assessments, vulnerability and penetration testings of our platform using third parties. And if you want to look at some of those reports, you can reach out to us, and we'll be in one-on-one basis. We can share those as well. So this is all we do from the data security perspective. Even after all of this, there are some scenarios and some situations where customers cannot just work with what we already have, and they need even larger kind of I would say concrete measures to tackle data security. In such cases, what we do is we provide them flexible deployment options. We provide on-premise, completely air-gapped as well. So what that means is some server hosted either in customer's data center or on their infrastructure, maybe a computer that they host and run on their site. which is completely air gapped, which means it doesn't talk to internet at all. Everything is local. Of course, it doesn't give any advantage in terms of remote operations, but anybody who is next to that system and on that same network would be able to leverage such a system. So deploying such air-gapped and on-premise system on enterprise networks means that such a system would be available on the enterprise network wholly, but not to the outside internet. So that gives that assurance. Also, in some cases, it's not more about data security, but more about data residency norms or the data residency rules. For example, in UK or in EU, if you have a government customers, it is very likely they would want you to host your data, host the FlytBase data and FlytBase servers in that same geography. So in such cases, we provide in-country cloud offering as well, so that customers can go and they can have their entire data hosted in their country to meet with their data residency laws. So with all of these options, the compliance, actual security, monitoring that the monitoring dashboard so that you can see that security working, FlytBase's internal security initiatives, and also these flexible deployment options. All of these options put together, FlytBase provides solution providers and also to the end users like a good solution that they can adopt, they can pick what they want, and they have enough options to choose from and to meet their internal security concerns, internal data security, data residency, or compliance concerns, and to make sure that finally they're able to scale. So with this solution, we have already worked with a lot of major government customers in Europe, in US, in other geographies as well as oil and gas companies, energy companies, and we have helped them through their compliance. So we have deep expertise into this now. So if you have any questions, any concerns around how to work with your customer and how to move the needle on the data compliance, data security and compliance, we'll be happy to help you out. So that's it from my side, and I'll be happy to take any questions.
Wow, thank you, Dheeraj. That was really an insightful discussion. And after this session, I'm clear that data security is no longer just an IT concern. It's a mission critical requirement for scaling drone operations in enterprise environments. And huge thank you to you, Dheeraj, for walking us through FlightBase Shield and how it protects drone deployments from cyber threats. And in the interest of time, we do have a few questions. So if you could just take one, I'll read it out. So, Dheeraj, what security risks exist when integrating drone data with third-party cloud platforms, and how can they be mitigated?
So the major risk is looking at the data. So that's always about the data that you're actually sharing. And if you're sharing data with a third-party cloud platform, the what needs to be seen is it the post-flight data or is it a live communication? Is there a risk for the third-party platform to leverage that and actually be able to control the dog and drone? That would be like one of the top risks. Then the risk is actually if you're just sending data and if they would just have access to data and use it in a like a manner that you don't want to, then in that case that is just the data that is at risk. And so apart from this, the communication, if the third party platform is of course not a bad actor here, but are they ensuring that whatever data transport that they're using to take the data from the drone or the dog to their platform, is that reliable, is that channel secure, are they using encryption? So those are some of the concerns, those are some of the factors that I would look at.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Dheeraj. One last question. How does FlightBase Shield ensure compliance with GDPR, ISO 27001, and other data privacy regulations?
So FlightBase Shield provides you with, so by default, FlightBase platform is compliant with all these standards, and under FlightBase Shield program, we help you with answering any questions that your end customers, or if you are the end user, in that case, your IT team, whatever the questions they have, our support team helps you answer those. Any IT questionnaire, we like now have filled a ton of them, so we can help you accelerate that process. And from a compliance point of view, we have everything. So what remains is just accelerating that process, and we just help you with that. I can also see one more question. How does FlightBase Shield protect against GPS spoofing, signal jamming? and remote hacking
Hacking
attempts.
attempts. Yeah.
So GPS spoofing, signal jamming, those are not something that FlightBase Shield covers at this point of time, at least. Uh, that's more for drone or dock manufacturers to work upon, because that's not something we have expertise into or even direct control on. So I'm assuming DJI, Skydio, and a lot of other drone manufacturers are working every day on solving this problem. We are more about remote hacking attempts through network. That's like most of our forte, and that's where we protect. Yeah, that's about it. All right. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining today's session, and I hope it was informative. And again, sit back and enjoy the rest of the show. Yep.